Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Lucid's Tournament Game 7, where we are playing Helheim. It is turn 53. Let's jump into things. Okay, so last turn was a really big turn for us. We got a massive amount of gold, which is nice. It's really cool. But also just a bunch of different things were getting set in motion at that point. So let's see how things are progressing. We have completed Conjuration 4. On our way up to Conjuration 5. Conjuration 5 should be next turn. Our respects. Found nothing. Found nothing with Auspex. Did some Corpse Man construction. Found a Burial Mound and a Battlefield with Dark Knowledge. These are two Death 1 sites, so not bad. Got a Reanimation. Dark Knowledge, nothing. More Reanimation. We got our third Ice Devil boon. Cool. Nothing with a Haruspex or Gnome Lore, Augury. The Augury is starting to get a little unfortunate, so fingers crossed that we look out there in the near term. Another Reanimation. With our Blood Hunting, we got a combined, what is that, 71 Blood Slaves? Nice. We got to witness a battle in Blue Moss Forest, so let's go and watch that. Alright, so this is just a She-Lord, get it out as per normal, with a copper plate. Pretty interesting. Some bracers of protection, Girdle of Might. Girdle of Might, swapping the Girdle of Might, or having the copper plate instead of like a Storm Spool, is pretty interesting because it does give a little bit more protection than the She-Lords typically have, I believe. I could be wrong, but it also gives the shock resistance at a higher rate and gives overcharge, which is neat. And then you can use a Girdle of Might to give reinvigoration and some bonus strength, which is pretty cool. I am considering creating more Girdles of Might because I think they might be good to throw on my Jarls, basically, or Hangadrats, for example. But this guy is appropriately kitted out. He's up against some Vinemen. One of them is casting Swarm, which is interesting. I'm not going to do anything, though, because he has 15 poison resistance. Swarm goes up, comes down, gets chewed through pretty quickly. Four thingies. Alright. And now this She-Lord is going to just cut through. Like, there's not going to be anything that they're going to be able to do. Between the vines and the very high defense, he is basically... He's asleep. I was gonna say, how did he get harassed down? There's no way he got harassed down. But no, he didn't get harassed down. He actually got put to sleep by a sleep spell. So this Ivy King actually hit him with a sleep spell. Interesting. Oh, wow, really? No one, but the issue is during that entire thing, even with his defense at 0, none of these Vinemen were able to get past the check, right, in order to actually hit him. That's really unfortunate. Very sad, very, very sad. He's dropping that sleep cloud, though. It's asleep again. That's really funny. It's really funny that he keeps getting hit by sleep and then no one can touch him. They have such bad magic resistance. I think it's magic resistance in order to get past the Vine Shield. It could be morale though. I would assume it's magic resistance. If it was morale, they'd be breaking through it more, like, constantly. He's spamming them panics. Kind of Oh. Tirnanog is routed. Interesting. Now, is he gonna wake up in time? Alright, we've got a very weird scenario, because he keeps waking up and attacking. Okay, there he goes. Immediately just skr off. Alright, so Tirnanog actually loses that fight, kills the majority of the Vine Men, but loses the fight. Pretty interesting. I'm sure the She Lord survived, so no big concern there. We got some unexpected events. In Orman, we have received 128 gold. Nice, very cool. In Ungbaloth, we gained a lab, 2 nature gems, and boots of the behemoth. Sweet. In Lyratos, we have gained 25 resources, which is pretty cool, but we lost a little bit of population. Not a big deal. I'll take that. I'll take that trade. And then in Ard, unfortunately, we lost -10 income. That's not the good, but I mean, all things considered. Now, we do have a little bit of an issue. Troops in the Forest of Long Nights are starting to starve. I wasn't thinking about sending all these troops here to the Forest of Long Nights. That is all my fault, especially considering we did have a Cauldron of Broth here that we had received from the fight in Defaros. So these absolutely do not need to be starving. We are going to hit Robber home anyways, because I think we will be fine, and I would like to get on it before Tirnanog does. Now, there's always the chance, though, that Tirnanog hits it this turn, and we have a massive bump, and everything goes shitty. In fact, let's equalize some things there, shall we? Something like this. Bring in a couple of Hangadrots to it. That's fine. The rest. But we will bring them in. We'll have 1, 2. Blessing, 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 blessing. Blessing, and then we won't need that. Let's do 2 blessings. And then this one can do Ze. I should swap that on over. Do all of the horde of skeletons. Stormbound. So they're just going to be a little bit of extra added oomph into the mix. Should be fine. And we will bring a endless bag of wine on 2 of them. Should account for supply usage. Right, what else are we doing this turn? We are hitting Robber home this turn. And we are... That's it. Nothing else. Turn done. Bye. That's honestly the only real aggressive move that we're making. We are sending King 6 out to patrol in Sanafe so that Calm 3 can take his small force of Herdmen down into Kohnberg. Great. Our recruitment this turn is way more limited than it was because we are starting a palisade and a lab in Zimria this turn. The ultimate goal being to get up to producing a couple of enchanters. So that should be pretty cool. And I don't necessarily begrudge this. Zimria is a pretty good province. We should protect it. It's fine. Especially I'm dealing with fucking this massive army up here. So this is the last turn that we have guaranteed peace with Calum. It is entirely possible that Calum hits us in every fucking location every place on our map in the next turn. If that is the case, well, things are going to get a little dicey. So we'll just have to see how that goes. But if that's the case, I'm probably not long for this game. Although, also if that's the case, this game probably isn't long for the game. So, you know, there is that. Is there anything cool that we're doing this turn? Most of what we're doing this turn, as you can see, we have 130 blood slaves this turn, and that is after spending the blood slaves to cast another ice devil. So we're binding another ice devil. If we get even close, right, if we get about 60 blood sacrifices this turn, that's going to put us back up to close to 200. We'll be able to just ice devil for the next 2 turns, which should put us at all 6 ice devils. By that point, we should be at or very close to blood 7, in which case we can turn around and do arc devils, right? So that'll be cool. We could potentially pop into Curse of Blood, so that's going to take some finagling. We can do Father Ill-Earth, right, to see if that is still up. So that would be cool. Our Frostfather is capable of, I think, doing that right out of the gate. Yeah, we could do that right out of the gate. No boosting or anything like that needed. Which is neat, right? So we've got a bunch of options coming down the pipe. We are continuing to produce, or continuing to... Oh, you know what we should start doing? We should have one person just start doing Bowl of Blood. Because there aren't very many blood sites, but some of them are really strong. So we should just start doing that every single time. This guy, Jarl38, for the rest of the game, basically, is just going to cast Bowl of Blood. Easy peasy. Continuing to forge Dwarven Hammers. We are forging more Lightless Lanterns. We're doing Voice of Apsu now with the new Jade Sorceress. We're doing more Water Bracelets, more Vine Shields, Boots of the Messenger. We are... another Lightning Rod, Armor of Knights. We're actually going to have this Dis head up here towards Saramatia, and we're going to start doing multiple Corpseman constructions up there. That'll be a thing. We are... doing Storm Spools on a different person. That's why we're swapping the Dis over. So that's pretty simple, easy to see. Actually, I wanted to touch on this. We've got this Svartalf, and this isn't a big deal for us necessarily because we have our god, but our god is pretty pressed for time at the moment, right? Our god is probably until the end of the game is going to have some pretty intense things to have to do turn after turn after turn after turn. Right, so I think it's probably going to be rare that our god has very many free turns for quite some time. And if we didn't have the god that we did, this guy would actually be a pretty interesting pickup for us. I think this is the first Svartalf that we've gotten that has gotten the fire random. So... this guy is pretty cool because, so we're forging a Lightning Rod right now, but this guy is pretty cool because he can do the Skull of Fire crosspath, right? Which is Fire Death. And we don't have that access in pretty much any other way outside of a god or empowering, pretty much, right? So that's pretty cool. That guy, that means, right, a Skull of Fire can get us a +1. Now, obviously, we have our Frostfather, so we can do a couple of other things, but we don't necessarily, because of the scenario that we have, again, our Frostfather, our god, is very, very valuable. etc., etc. We've got a lot of stuff going for him right now. But we could make a Skull of Fire on Svartalf 4. We could throw that on Loki, or we could throw it on our Pyrrhoplegaton. And then suddenly there, Fire 4, right? Fire 4 means that we can make a Flame Helmet, right? So we would have Fire 5. I think that's it. I don't think there is another Fire Booster outside of other things like Rings of Wizardry or Robes of the Magi or Elemental Staffs, right? Am I missing one? I can't remember. I don't think so. I think it's Flame Helmet and Skull of Fire. But regardless, right? Like, so Fire 5 is pretty big. Fire 5 is... I don't think there's anything blood-wise that we would need Fire 5 for. No, there's not. But there are some Conjuration things that we could use a Fire 5 for, right? So, King of Elemental Fire comes to mind, right? And the only reason I throw this out, I feel like it's potentially unlikely, especially since we've kind of got crap income for it. But we could get lucky over the course of the next little while, right? And our Pyrrhoplegaton could find some more fire sites. Our fire income could shoot up to be somewhere around 10-ish, right? And if it does, in fact, do that, then we could look at things like Kings of Elemental Fire or something like that, because I don't know how much longer Abyssia is necessarily going to be in the game. Right? Abyssia is kind of our only really strong competition for that scenario. I say there are only strong competition. We shouldn't be competition for them. They should dominate that. But because they're kind of getting shoved out of the game, that might actually be a competition for us. So that's relatively interesting. That's a cool cross-path pickup for us, is what I'm trying to say. I think that's it. Honestly, I think that's about it as far as cool things go. We're making some shields. We're trying to sit in this standpoint, right, where every turn we can outfit the next thing that we summon, right? We are getting close to we're running out of like stuff. So we're gonna start kind of burning through certain gems. Earth gems are probably gonna go bye-bye real quick. Fire gems and air gems are probably gonna go bye-bye real quick. Our death gems have been on that slow decline. I'm probably going to start pulling off of the reanimation here shortly in the hopes that we just have some more death gems on hand for a couple of different things. Like I want to forge some skull staffs and things like that for some of my Hangadrots. Which I think would be pretty beneficial, especially if we can get a better research speed up and running. That's part of what the plan is with the multiple lightless lanterns per turn. This whole population in Kohnberg, if we what, 6 per row. So what is that? 6, 12, 18, 24, 30... 34 right here. Get rid of 2 because we've got 2 forgers here. So, and let's get rid of these 2 Jarls because they'll probably go by and do something. So right now we have like 30 researchers sitting here. If we add lightless lanterns are what? They are 14. They're 12. All right. So if we had 30. We're looking at another 96 research just out of lightless lanterns, right? Per turn. So that can be... Is that quick math horribly wrong? I think that quick math was horribly wrong. Sorry. That quick math was absolutely horrid. Did you watch my brain come to the realization where I was like, wait a second, what the fuck did I just say? That is absolutely horribly, horribly wrong. So it's 360, right? So yeah, 30 times 12 is... Now I'm second guessing myself. I believe 30 times 12 is 300. Let's go to the calculator. This is why I'm not a mathematician. Yeah, there's 360. Okay, so ignore my original horrible math. Go to my secondary, slightly better but unsure math. It's 360. So that is a big fucking difference, right? So 360 added research per turn if we can continue this ramp. See, what we're kind of in the stage of is hopefully no one fucks with us, because if someone fucks with us, we're probably going to be kind of right? We've got a couple things playing for us, but I don't think we are ready. But if no one fucks with us for 10 turns, and we're able to just keep summoning Ice Devils and Arc Devils and Heliophagi and ramp up our research, and then suddenly turn all of those demons upon someone, that could actually be really fucking good. Another potential goal is getting another blood hunting set going somewhere else. The only problem is I don't have any places that I'm really thrilled about doing this except Pulmonia. And doing it in Pulmonia, well, yeah, not super happy about it. It is what it is, but I'm not super happy about it. Indra Nigra, maybe. We got a couple options though. Alright, I'm mostly just hemming and hawing at this point. We're forging a bunch of shit. We're continuing to make Ice Devils. We're hoping that our blood economy continues to kick ass. We're summoning a new Mound King, right, to lead more undead armies for us. And yeah, that should be about it. Alright. See you next time. Bye, everybody.